say for argument's sake, if you're looking at shops, I look at a lot of shops. They blur out the windows. Like you see the window and it's got like a blur over it. Because I'm going to identify which street and suburb it's in from the two trees that are sitting out the front and the hierro with a cigarro. Like half the time you've taken a photo at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night anyway. I can't see shit. So why are you blaring out the street sign, man? Like, I don't really know what street has the bright red 1980 Datsun sitting on the corner next to the olive tree that you've sprouted. Like, but they still do it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Arthur. Thanks for tuning in. Today I thought I'd do a video talking about how to navigate online websites when searching for property. So in particular, like stuff like Spitogatos or those kind of websites. I've had a few people ask me over the last few days, what does this mean? How does this work? Blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I should tell people what to look out for because of the pitfalls that I've gone through myself personally. And before I continue, firstly, I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for the support, the subscriptions, the comments, the likes, the shares, people getting in touch with me. It's actually blown my mind because honestly, I was shit scared about putting this forward. When I bought my first property in 2017 or whenever it was, people, kind of just tore my throat out. They're like, you're an idiot, you're going to get screwed over, Greece is dead, the economy's shot, blah, 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 this and that, from my own family, mind you, as well. And that's all I copped, a lot of negativity from a lot of people that have called me. It's been the constant cycle of negativity coming from people close to them. Why are you doing this? They're going to screw you over, da da da. And I thought, well, you know what? I haven't had that experience. In fact, I've had the complete opposite experience. I've made a shitload of money out of it, and I want to continue doing this. And I thought I'm going to turn this into a business because if I have these issues and needed to find them out myself, then someone else has these issues, and I want to be that person that helps solve them. So thank you so much for the support. Again, subscribe to the channel, comment, share, like. It all helps me get my message across. It helps me know that you guys enjoy what I'm doing, that it makes sense. And please leave a message in the comments and let me know if you have any questions that need answering. I'll make videos about them because I sometimes scratch my head, go, what do I talk about this week? Because to me it seems normal, but to other people it doesn't. There might be stuff that they haven't even thought about. So please do that. Bear with me as I sip my hot chocolate. Okay, so the first thing that you should look out for when looking at these properties, obviously you're going to find something that you like, you're going to zoom in on the map, have a look at it, and it's either going to have one or two things. One, it's going to have the actual location of the property. Two, it's just going to have a blue circle. Now, I'm going to be talking about Spitogatos mostly because that's what I use. I have used the other ones, but let's face it, that's the main culprit. This isn't a paid sponsorship, believe me. I wish it was, but it's not. Now here's what I've realized with these things. Sometimes with the location, it's the actual location. Sometimes. More often than not, it's either a dud location or it's a location to the actual real estate office of the real estate agent who's got it up for sale. Not really with leasing. Leasing, it's a lot more secure. But for sale, for whatever reason, even though when you want to sell something, you've got to sign a document committing yourself to that agent and the commission and blah, 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 and this and that. The agent still will not put the actual location up because they're scared of people like you and me trying to actually find the owner, knocking on their door and saying, hey, let's cut out the middleman. I'll take it off your hands. And you don't then have to give the agent, because the agent will get commissions from me, the seller, and you, the buyer. And it's, I don't know, it's somewhere around the 1,500 euro from each person, depending on how much, the more the cost of the property, the higher their commission goes. But that's one of the ways that they get around it. You also notice this on photos. And it baffles me because they must be so scared of people actually really like getting the CIA involved. They will blur out, say for argument's sake, if you're looking at shops, I look at a lot of shops, they blur out the windows. Like you see the window and it's got like a blur over it because I'm going to identify which street and suburb it's in from the two trees that are sitting out the front and the hierro with a cigarro. Like half the time you've taken a photo at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night anyway. I can't see shit. So why are you blaring out the street sign, man? Like I don't really know what street has the bright red 1980 Datsun sitting on the corner next to the olive tree that you've sprouted. Like, but they still do it. Maybe the Greeks do, I don't know. So that's one interesting thing. The other thing, which has happened a lot of the time, I'll go and view a property. And they're like, oh yeah, which one are you after? And I'm like, oh, the code, that's the code. And I'm like, because they've also got a code, and that's generally what you do when if you're ever looking at these websites, make sure you write down the property code, because the agents go, oh, which code are you talking about? Which one? They, for whatever reason, you tell them street names and they lose it. Now I understand why. Because I did actually, it did happen. I'm like, oh, it's the one on this and that street. And they're like, that's our office. And I went, no, that's the one on your listing. Like, yeah, no, we just put that down there. That's actually the address of the office. And I was like, okay. Where is it, man? So that's the first thing you should actually look at. Now, generally, if they're in the vicinity of the blue circle, that's generally where they're going to be. Obviously, exactly where, who knows? The agent knows, the person selling it knows. It's not the biggest thing in the life. Like, as long as you can see the photos clearly, yeah, we all know what's going on there. You should be able to at least get an understanding of the area and the property itself. Let me take another sip of my hot chocolate. It's getting colder in Melbourne, which means that it's must be warming up in Greece. Time to fly. Anyone work for Qatar, Emirates? I'm more than happy to work with you guys. Like, maybe give me a business class, first class, whatever's available. Yeah, whatever. Can you tell I'm awful at this? Okay, the second thing, pricing. This is actually something that does my head in as well. The pricing isn't generally indicative of the actual. I mean, it is, but it also isn't. Now, this generally happens more on the commercial side of listings. I haven't really come across it in the residential, probably because you can't really pull this off in the residential. But, you know, we're not all out here for residential. Some are for commercial. I do both. One thing that I have noticed for commercial listings is that the price will sometimes say, for argument's sake, it's a shop and it's worth 40,000 euro, for argument's sake. And generally in that area, the shops that are that square meterage will go for that much. All of a sudden, you see a shop, same thing, that's selling for 15 grand. And it looks immaculate. And I've gone, hang on a second. Called them up immediately, like, no, we're selling the business. I'm like, well, then why put it under why are you putting under the commercial sale? You're not selling the property. You're selling a business. It's a whole different situation. You've wasted my time. Like, why is it there? So they'll do that. So keep in mind, if it's too good to be true, it's generally clickbait on, the app. So make sure that you have a look at a few places. I'm not saying that you can't get lucky. I'm sure you can. But more often than not, if a place looks absolutely immaculate, and not immaculate, but like a fully functioning place of business, and it's relatively cheap, it's because they're actually selling the business. They don't even own the property. They pay a lease and they're selling the business. But for whatever reason, they've wanted to put it in as a sale to try and get you to call up and go, oh, maybe this, and then they're going to try and talk you into buying the business instead, when you're actually trying to buy the shop to kick the business out. I don't know, whatever you want to do with it. The next thing that you got to be careful of when it comes to pricing, you'll see these little photos, these not cartoonish, but they're drawn. They're digital photos of not blueprints, but sort of like a mock-up of what a building should look like, and it's a brand new development, and the price is 2, 3, 4, 5. It's clearly not the price. It's them again going surfing, reeling in some people, and saying, "Hey, click on this because then we're going to sell you." It's one of the two things. I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know why the websites haven't just pulled them down, because honestly, no one looks at it and goes, oh, it's 2,345 euro. It's either the price of the square meterage, which could be a possibility, because that's depending on which area you are, but also it's more often than not clickbait, so you can call up. They're still new developments. They haven't finished. Chances are they probably haven't even broken ground. So they're just trying to reel in customers. So that's just another one of those things you got to kind of generally look out for. Oh, the next one does my head in. Detached house. What do you think it means? It means exactly what you think it means. A detached house, a detached dwelling. Generally, it does. But here's the kicker in Greece. When they're advertising it, when they say detached house, what they actually mean is that there's a few owners on the actual property itself. So, for argument's sake, three brothers could be sharing a property, and you're buying a part ownership of that. So, for whatever reason, it falls under a detached house, because I guess that's the only category they've got. Now, you'll see a lot of houses that are actually in rubble. If you have a look at any of the islands, and you put in 80,000 euro or whatever, you'll find some cobblestone houses, some bluestone houses, and they're under detached houses, which, yeah, they're obviously a detached house. They're also unhinged. More often than not, those kind of things are either inheritance and someone's selling off half their inheritance, or 60% of it, or 80% of it, or whatever. So be very careful of that. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm not saying they're a bad thing. I've never really gone in on it because I nearly did last year and decided to go against it because, firstly, I don't really want to go halvies with someone. I definitely don't want to go halvies with someone I don't know, have never met, and I definitely don't want to go halvies with someone who that person I don't know and have never met also has some kind of leverage over me and pull on what I do with my 70% share of the land. Whatever it is, if it's not 100%, I don't want it. Because what's to say, obviously contracts, but what's to say that this person doesn't get shitty and goes, you know what, I want to sell this and I want to sell it all for this much and I want to do this with it and da da da. And next thing you know, you're caught up in litigation in the courts, in the Greek courts, trying to fight it from Australia or, go off to Greece and see how long that takes. Yeah, it's just, it just gets all messy for me, man. I just stay away from it. So that's just, why I kind of stay away from it. But detached house, it could actually mean a detached house or it could just mean that it's tied up in litigation somewhere. The next thing, you'll see a lot of these houses, residential places that are for sale, that are actually up for sale at a really cheap price. Now, generally you think, that's a great thing, that's a steal, that's a bargain. Shouldn't I buy it? Well, here's the thing. Yes and no. Yes, you should buy it, but no, you won't get it for that price because that's for auction. So you'll see it, it's called listidio as well. And that means that thing's going up for auction. I'm a bit iffy about auctions, but only because I've never done them before. And what I know of auctions is if you have to front up 50,000 euro, whatever it is, you have to deposit it into their trust account. Then if you're unsuccessful, then you've got to wait for them to send you back the money. And there's just something about someone having 50,000 euro of mine that I may potentially need to drop on something else and waiting on them to send me back the money. How long is it going to take? How long is a year? Who knows? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. I stay away from them personally. I've looked into them. I've been tempted before. It's just something about transferring that kind of amount of money and someone having ownership over it, holding on to it until they decide that they're ready to give it back. That just doesn't sit right with me. But again, I would actually love to know if anyone's done any of this. Please, in the comments below, message me, whatever. I'd love to hear your stories because if it's actually a legit thing, I mean, I'm sure it is, but I've just never done it. I don't want to be the fearful one. I'm just saying, I'm just cautious about it. That's all. Now, here's a little fun one. You might be scrolling for a certain property or whatever, and you might find one, and then scroll down another 10 properties and find the exact same listing, but they're from two separate agents, and you're like, what's going on? So here's what's going on. A lot of the agents work hand in hand with each other because they're from separate areas. They're separate neighborhoods. And they're like, well, old mate might be looking in that neighborhood and then might find something in this neighborhood. So if I sell his and he's selling mine, then but he's also selling his over there and I'm also selling mine over here. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, you get my drift. It just means that they're kind of casting a wider net to be able to sell their property, which in theory makes sense, but it does my head in. You don't know who you're talking to, how many people are in charge, what's going on, who do you communicate with, and it just becomes a little bit of a head case. But look, not to worry, I've actually bought it through that manner as well, and I found it quite interesting that things that go on in Greece that don't actually happen here. So that's the other thing. Outdated listings as well is another one. A lot of people will, especially the older kind of real estate agents who firstly don't even know how to use Spitogatos, or maybe their son or their daughter or their nephew or whatever has put the listing up on their for you to begin with, but they haven't really taken down the listing because why do they care? They've just made 1,800 euro. They've made 3,500 euro. They've sold the property, whatever, and the listing stays up there. And then you're calling up going, hey man, this thing for sale? And they're like, no, it's not. Stop calling me. Outdated listings are definitely a thing. Also, while we're on the topic of agents, it seems to be a lot about agents actually, maybe. I mean, anyone who's seen my videos, it's almost become a weekly ritual of mine to talk about this. And it absolutely does my head in because I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. When they charge to view the fucking listing, why are you charging? Why are you making money off my property? What's going on here? I'm already giving you a commission. If you're charging to view my property, what's the incentive other than, do you really need the 10 grand, the 10 euro, whatever it is, 10 euro. 10 euro. It's 2 coffees. It's once with lucky. They have gone up. It's ridiculous. Maybe not 10 euro, but you know what I mean. But it's 10 euro. And I mean, they don't even tell you from the beginning. It's on the fine print down below. And then you call them up. I want to see this property. Yeah, cool. It's 10 euro. What do you mean it's 10 euro, man? Do you want my money or do you not? Are you that, like, I'm sorry, are you that busy that this is such a hindrance to you that it's going to cost you €10 for administration fees? What are you administering? What are you're punching numbers onto a computer. What are you administering? What kind of input do you need that's going to cost €10? And is that per property or is that a once-off fee? Once-off fee for what? To write down my number and my name? You're making me sign a contract anyway. I don't get it. And the best thing is they do it to lease properties as well. This is why I don't, anyway. I've got a whole other video on why I lease my properties on my own. Check that out on the channel. But this falls into it. It's because they charge people to view properties when you're leasing them. And I think that's a very interesting situation, because if you're going to charge people, if you're going to make money off everyone that's going to come in there to view it, why are you then inclined to lease it? Because you're just killing off your money-making machine. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing and that all agents that do this are bad, because there are some big agents, big agencies. I think Remax do that now, which they didn't when I bought my first property through Remax. I'm pretty sure some do. They're a big, and they're a big, obviously honest, honourable chain in Greece. One of the other guys that this happened to me with, and I remember I had my mum there in Greece, and I called her up and I said, why don't you go check out this property for me? Just have a look what you think. And she's like, he wants €10. And I was like, oh man, I really didn't want to do it. I really, not that I care about the €10, but I'm like, no, it's out of principle. But I thought, all right, stuff it. Give him the €10. The property was cheap. Guess how long it took me before I could actually get anything out of him. Still owes me that €10. Titles are clean. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Hang on. We're still waiting on this. Oh, his goat's sick. Oh, he's going off for a cigar. His front bear's too hot. He needs to go get some ice in it. No, hang on a second. Then I got this. If we're ready to sell, are you definitely going to buy it? You got my €10? You know I'm serious. I'm waiting on you. I got the money. Oh, yeah, no, hang on. He needs a bit more time. Mate, let's be honest. This is a money-making machine. How much money are you making on it as well? How many people went and saw this place? Like, I can't imagine it's in the thousands that you're holding on to it. And it's still available. It's still up. I'm not going to put it up. I was thinking about posting it, but I'm like, you know what? There's no point. But I've still got it in my favorites. It's kind of like my Moby Dick. I still want to buy it. It's a shop for 20k, man. Like, I just still want to buy it. But anyway, no, Arthur, no. Ugh. I need some hot chocolate to calm myself down. One other thing I was going to say, and look, this is something that you should probably take with you going into any situation. They don't obviously have any transparency on fees and all that kind of stuff. So when you're looking at a property price, it's obviously not the final price. You know, it's the agent hasn't told you their fees, which could be anywhere from 1,500 to, you know, 2.5, 3, whatever. I mean, it depends how much you're buying, as in not how many quantity, but the price tag. They take a percentage based on the price tag. So they don't tell you that. Then they don't tell you all the taxes and all the added things that you're going to need with regards to like a civil engineer, a surveyor, a solicitor, a lawyer, an accountant, all that kind of stuff. Which, I mean, look, you should sort of know that going into it anyway. You should expect there's going to be added fees, but that comes along with everything. But yeah, there isn't really any transparency online through that kind of stuff. You've got to really dig around. They probably won't tell you till the end. You know, they would tell you their commission. Absolutely, they'd tell you the commission, and they would tell you that they want a deposit immediately or they don't, depending on what it on you know how much it is, and sort of every agent works differently. But there isn't really any transparency when it comes to property viewing online. You've got to be on the ground and sort of asking all the questions and really kind of dig it out of them, or you use a buyer's agent or a property manager. What up? But that's my little video about what to sort of look out for when looking online for those things. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. buyinggreece.com.au. Hit me up on the socials at buyinggreece. So obviously on the YouTube channel if you're watching this at buyinggreece. And also I'm on Spotify, which is why I've got a massive microphone in front of my face. So I am slowly putting out all the content again. But again, subscribe, share, like, comment. Even negative stuff, it's fine. I deal with it. It actually helps the algorithm. It actually really helps the algorithm. And if you are in need of my services, I do consult. I do manage properties. I am a buyer's agent. Get in touch, and we can talk through. A lot of you have been getting in touch, and I am getting back to everyone. I'm slowly working on some clients that I've got going on, which is actually quite interesting because, yeah, it's a nice feeling knowing that I can help people, and I'm actually really passionate about buying property in Greece myself. So it's nice that I've found other people like myself, because honestly, I thought I was the only one. Thank you very much. Every Sunday night I go live. Well, I try to anyway, on all 3 platforms. I look like an idiot. I'm just darting all over the place. So if you have any questions, you can jump on and ask me, and I'll answer them to you immediately, as best I can. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you next week. Bye.